each day. Where there's a will, there's a way.
Hello, hello. Okay, did that part. Now I gotta do the sharing here. I'm getting better at this. And then by the time I am done with it, it'll go back to the old way. Then I'll have to figure out how to do that again. And then, yeah. You got to do a lot of double posting, and then you got to post while you're talking. So that means you got to come up with something. And you get dead air while you're doing this. People will leave. In fact, they're probably leaving right now. I have one more share to go. All right. Yep, me again. Me again. Except this time I'm not coming on and bringing all my problems with me anymore. I don't know if people have noticed that or not, but I'm proud of myself. I'm getting better at that. Even today, I was like, I haven't heard from these people and I want to. And I'm like, no, you're not. No, you're not. So I did a little screwing around today. I'm actually working. I want to make a cartoon because I have these different voices. So I'm making cartoons out of situations in recovery, right? Like this one is about this guy that tries to go into detox and get some help, and I'm gonna make it kind of funny because I want to use my voices. And but what I don't want to do is pay somebody to teach me how to use my voices so that I can use my voices. Ain't gonna happen. Kind of like I went to bartending school, then they wanted me to pay even more. I said fuck you, so I went and became a bartender. Yeah. I went to broadcasting school, dropped out, and went on the radio. Yep, KRFC in Fort Collins. I was on every Saturday night. It was called But Your Mother Would. I don't know who Foster Brooks is. I would have to find out. I probably do because I'm horrible with names. So I probably know who it is. So I would have to practice with some of mine. But I do a lot of obscure ones. Like I can do a lot of cartoons. If you can get down Yoda, Yoda is the basis of like, you know, I used to be able to do Wolfman Jack, Casey Kasem. I haven't. This is Casey Kasem. Not even close. Not even close. Leonette, Raisinette. Some things in here don't react well to bullets. All right. Here's one that always freaks people out because my voice is very deep. I have to take a drink first.
Hi, my name is Bobby, and every time my mommy put me in a party, I'd cry.
Yeah. Howie Mandel. Does Bobby. All right. As God's children, we stand on our own 2 feet. We're going to the big book. I'm going to switch. I'm going to pull Mr. Rogers here. This is my book that I use for sponsoring because it's the one that's all marked up. This is the one that I use for everything else. Why do we call this the big book? No, that's why. It's big. You know, I've been talking to a lot of different kind of people. I was talking to a friend who loves AA, but doesn't necessarily like the people in it. And that makes me sad, man. It makes me sad. You know, we're people that don't really belong anyway. So when there's some of us that have mental situations that are beyond, and we treat them like crap, I will not stand for it. I won't. Uh-uh. This whole people thinking that they're better because you think you got away with something. I'm gonna tell you, yeah. Now we're aging ourselves, Daryl. Now we're aging ourselves. Watch out. Don't you dare age me. Yeah, it was. It was way thinner. The stories weren't in it yet. So that's what had happened, right? It used to be the first 182 pages. Dr. Bob's Nightmare ended after working with others, if I remember correctly. But today we're talking as God's children, we stand on our own 2 feet. This has to do with the 9th step. This has to do with 8 and 9. Of course, I was just in a meeting. It's the 9th month. Where you came in with the 3rd edition. I had a copy of the 2nd edition, and I also had a copy of the original manuscript at one point, but I don't have it anymore. And it was mean. It was so mean. Oh man, none of us. I wouldn't have made it. Wouldn't have made it. Right now, I understand that we have a disease, and this disease is fucking serious, man. All right, but it is when and how we help people. Right? You know, everybody's going to be different, and it's okay. It is okay to be different. I want I want you to be different. I like different. I'm an odd duck. Always have been, right? So I hear about people doing that crap in meetings. It doesn't happen around me. Huh. So what are we talking about when we say as God's children we stand on our own 2 feet? Talking about boundaries. Now, just because we are going out and making amends, this doesn't mean that we have to sit and take a beating either. Okay? You might ask somebody for forgiveness and they'll give you just some stupid, wild answer or whatever. Go back to your sponsor. See if it's true. Discuss it with somebody else. All right, I'm gonna stop. I'm gonna start on the top of page 83. Ooh, yeah. Now, I think that's how the big book came out. I think it originally came back out in softback, didn't it? I don't know. Yes, there is a long period of reconstruction ahead. We must take the lead. A remorseful mumbling that we are sorry will not fit the bill at all. Sorry just means I intend to do it again. That's what sorry means to this alcoholic. When this alcoholic says, I'm sorry, and that's all I say, I'm going to repeat it. I did not learn my lesson. Unless it goes along with, hey, I noticed that I did this. Is this what you were talking about? Yes, it is. Okay, I see it. I can change that. Now we have an amends, or at least the beginning of one. At least the beginning of one. But here's the thing. We're about action and more action. We have been since the 4th step. Okay. And the 9th step is about justice. It is not about forgiveness. I always go to these night step meetings, forgiveness, forgiveness, forgiveness. I'm not God. I cannot forgive people. Yeah. I wouldn't actually mind getting a hold of that and doing how it works from the original one. I think that'd be fun. That'd be fun. Um, we ought to sit down with the family and frankly analyze the past as we now see it, being very careful not to criticize them. Woo! No, friend. I love you, Angel. And I love you too, Daryl. I'm glad you're here. Their defects may be glaring, but the chances are that our own actions are partly responsible. Did you know my kids do exactly what I do? They don't listen to anything I say, but they follow my lead. Most people in the program do that too, because rarely have we seen a person fail who's thoroughly followed our path. Well, if I'm not being a good example, AA is not going to, it's not going to move forward, man. The life-giving blood will not be there. And I do not force any of my family into a spiritual way of life. Nope. Mm-mm. I don't even talk to them about God usually, unless they ask. I'll bring it up, or it might come up in conversation. They don't not believe in God, but they got to find their own way, right? Even with my children, they are still a child of God, and I've got to I've got to be appropriate, right? And that's the big thing. Love. I learned how to love the right way. Yeah. It's my answer for almost everything. You know what's neat about my life? I get to bring people together. Sometimes people that haven't seen each other in a while. And then we remember, fuck, it was all good when we were together. All right. So we clean house with the family, asking each morning in meditation that our Creator show us the way of patience, tolerance, kindliness, and love. Patience is a big one for me. Tolerance, I don't think I tolerate people anymore. What I do is I just accept them for who they are. And when I do that, then I can see them in their good and bad. I can see both. And what is this going to do for me? Well, it's going to tell me what route I need to go. I have a limited amount of time on this earth, and I want to be able to help as many people as I can. That's all I'm going for. The spiritual life is not a theory. We have to live it. We do. Unless one's family expresses a desire to live upon spiritual principles, we think we ought not to urge them. We should not talk incessantly to them about spiritual matters. They will change in time. Our behavior will convince them more than our words. We must remember that 10 or 20 years of drunkenness would make a skeptic out of anyone. You remember when you were sober for a little while and somebody said, "Have you been drinking?" And you got offended and you were like, "What the fuck? Fuck you. I ain't drinking." Why should they believe you? What have I done? Right? I was about 3 months sober, and I was cleaning the house because that's what I do when I'm sober. Cleaner. I came across my wife's bottle of Tawaka. And sometimes it takes this chat to come up a little bit. Like right there, it says it's nothing. Oh, haha. Okay. Now it popped up. Right? So I've come across my wife's bottle of Tawaka. She hid her alcohol. I didn't hide my alcohol. There wasn't any reason. And I would pour it, and I poured it out. Right? And I rinsed it just like a good alcoholic should, and threw it in the trash. I even thought to myself, I should bury that. No, no, not until you're cured, which is never. So, right? So my daughter-in-law comes in, my stepdaughter came in, saw the empty bottle sitting in the trash and booked it out of the house. And so I get a phone call from my wife. Thankfully, she just worked down the street. And she asked me, you've been drinking. We don't want to. And I'm like, no, I haven't. And I told her, it does. I'm not saying it doesn't hurt, because of course it hurts. I don't. I want her to be able to trust me. But I'm only 3 months sober. She can't trust that yet. She did the right thing. That's what I had to say about it. Okay. Now, if she came walking in and saw that, I would be the last person she would think of, because of who I am. They live with me. They live upstairs. So, yeah. Now, I don't pressure them. But I can tell you this. My son's anger problem's gotten a lot better since he started living with me. Yep. Because he doesn't want to piss dad off. He was still a dick. That's all right. He can still be a dick, right? Yeah. That's why he's your ex-husband. And no worries, because I really like your new husband. Yeah. Right? Boundaries, man. Sometimes we get sober, and all the people that yelled and screamed that we should be sober, blah, 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 really didn't want us sober. We were just the black sheep, but now they don't have anybody else to pick on. And that'll piss some people off, just so you know. They'll be the people closest to you. Yeah. This is not an easy road. God will remove people from your life that should not be there. I learned that one the hard way too, right? There may be some wrongs we can never fully right. We don't worry about them if we can honestly say to ourselves, we would right them if we could. Some people cannot be seen. We send an honest letter. And there may be valid reason for postponement in some cases, but we don't delay if it can be avoided. We should be sensible, tactful, considerate, and humble without being servile or scraping. As God's people, we stand on our own 2 feet. We don't crawl before anyone. Right? Am I really looking for forgiveness? No. I've already been forgiven. God forgave me in step 5. It says it in the book. It says, if you ask, you're forgiven. All you have to do is ask and admit it. Not any different from confession in being a Catholic, right? It says it's the same exact thing. Forgive me, Father, for I have sinned, da, 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 da. Right? They said they hand out Hail Marys and these things. But what is that? What are they doing? It's an action. God, I did something. There's a consequence to my action. So what do? Well, we take a look at character defects. Right? That's what we do. I want to get to this story. I did that at my dad. He was one of us, but still wet. He had hung with me through all my shit, my arrests, everything. But that day, he got fed up with my righteous damn notion of his drinking. And ... Yeah. ... is what happened. ... says a lot. Right? He's finishing the story. Well, we will get back to that story in 1 second here. So, baby, I don't even really like this person, but I need to remember they are a child of God. There's some people that did some horrible things to me 4 or 5 years ago, blah, 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 right? Well, I had a part in it. You bet your ass I did. I had a part in it. It takes two to tango, don't it? I I helped reinforce the division. So I made an amend. Did I get one back? No. Did I expect one back? No. Not from these people. What I got was, gee, thanks. Great. Done. I'm done. Did my part. My side of the street is clean. I can now move on with what I need to. And he kicked me out of his house and told me to stay out. Yep. Yep. Tough love. Yeah. My parents did the same thing. I was 14. I'd get kicked out of the house. They put me in a placement. It would have been better to kick me out of the house. I would have had a lot more fun. See, it was hard to scold me when I didn't care. All right. I ditched school and they would suspend me. I got exactly they always gave me exactly what I wanted. They always reinforced my bad behavior. Then they made the mistake of putting me in homes. Now I had to learn a new survival skill. And that's when I became dangerous. Yeah. I learned a lot of survival skills from gangbangers. I learned how to cornrow hair. All right, let's get to, but here it says that we got to be tactful, right? We got to be tactful. All right. What is that? It means that I'm not sorry. I'm no longer sorry. Let's do this. I was about 4 months sober, and don't you know, I knew everything and was more than willing to tell you how you should live. Yeah. Thank God for sponsors. I went through the same thing. I still kind of do. I have this superhero complex. I want to save everybody. You want to know why? Because it's lonely. The kind of thing with what I do, like even recovery month, I'm not. Why do I need a month? I got all year. It's just another reason for people to say, look how high we can jump. Look how great we are. Give us your money. Mm-mm. We got people out there, oh, it's recovery month. We're going to fight stigma. No, you're not. You're going to lose. You're going to end up in an argument. Stop trying to change people that don't want to be changed. No pearls for the swine. Okay? It's hard to do because I don't get to determine willingness either. It's not my job. Not my job to determine somebody else's willingness. Right? So what does all this mean? Well, I know for this alcoholic, because I deal with more than just alcoholism, I need to have very, very strong emotional boundaries. And I do. If I don't want to talk about something, I will tell you. Hey, I don't want to talk about this no more. Can we kind of move on the conversation? There's one side of my life where it's such a problem and these people have caused such a problem, their name comes up all the time. And I'm not even the one doing it. Okay. I don't know why God is doing this. I don't need to ask God why. Mm-mm. I already know I can stand on my own 2 feet. I can handle my own emotions. About fucking time. It was hard work. I handle my own triggers. Yes, I do that. You bet. Good job, Dion. There it is. I'm claiming spiritual progress. Good job. Now I move on. I have found more and more that when I have God in my life, you can't touch me. You can do things, but you won't be able to stop me. There's a lot of people that are angry that I'm live right now because they thought they could stop me. You can't stop God. I'm doing God's work. And as a child of God, with a deep belief, I have faith, faith, faith. And I have so much faith that I continue to spend money. No, I'm kidding. Not really spend money, but I continue to move forward knowing it needs money, is a better way to put it. I'm not spending it yet. All right. Very, yeah. Like right now, I wrote a script. The script is about where to go. Oh, there. Okay. Sorry. All right. I had it write a funny thing about going. I want to make a cartoon. I said that at the beginning. So it's one thing I'm doing. I can talk about that because again, it's not money making. But these cartoons are going to have a point. What it is just another avenue to get out what it is that I do. Because not everybody likes it. Some people prefer listening, some people prefer reading, some people like visual, some people, so I'm trying to get all of those, right? But when it really comes down to it, I really don't know what the fuck I'm doing. I really don't. Don't know how the originals did the steps in one night. Yeah, I had a hard time owning up to the realization that I was at fault. How the hell was I going to make amends list if I thought that I was owed? Yeah. And see, that is where we had to make the change. That's why we had to make the change, right? In that first one, and if you give me a copy of it, man, let's come on and talk about it. Again, invite, if you ever want to go live with me or whatever, you're more than welcome to. I always like another person on here. In the 6 years, it's happened twice. So it's because it's not consistent is the big part. So who knows? I don't even know when I'm going to go live. I don't plan them. So, but there's a lot of bullshit out there. There's a lot of fake. And the thing is there's a lot of us that know the truth. There's a lot of us that know the truth. Okay. And I've just been around this program for too long to without God, it's just incomplete. I don't know how else you're going to do it. I don't. I've watched all these other ways 100 times and they never ever work. Because we refuse to learn from the past of other people. We call that knowledge, wisdom. And when they pass that on and we don't listen, then we're doomed to repeat it. I've heard a lot of people lately say that they don't really like the 12 by 12 because it's just Bill. And I mean, everybody has their own thing, and you have a right to that. But for me, the 12 by 12 is just one long 10 step. Yeah, there you go. Joe and Charlie. Yeah, you know, I've kind of become an expert at this. I'll eat lunch and do this. I do things all the time. I'd be happy to do something like that. You know, um, the thought keeps running through my mind that, I know enough people that are like-minded, just like me, and maybe we ought to just all get together and go to the same AA meeting and show these people how it's really supposed to be done by good example, even though we're not experts. I'm not an expert, but gosh, we need to. Well, I kind of am. I mean, I've been doing this for a while. Um, I don't know if that qualifies me as being an expert, though. Scam likely. When I get that, I just put them on there, and they can hang up when they want to. But other than that, they're going to listen to recovery. There's something nagging me. Um, I don't know what it is, but I feel like there's something I'm supposed to read. Don't want to grab the big book. Oh, they didn't like it. 68. We reviewed our fears thoroughly. We put them on paper. Even though we had no resentment in connection with them, we asked ourselves why we had them. Wasn't it because self-reliance failed us? Self-reliance was good as far as it went, but it didn't go far enough. Some of us once had great confidence, but didn't fully solve the fear problem or any other. When it made us cocky, it was worse. Woo! This goes right along with this. Because how, as God's children, can I stand on my own 2 feet if I'm going to live in fear? It would be not how it's supposed to be done. It's just how we did it. Yeah, thank you for correcting that. Thank you. I appreciate that. See, he knows. People might think we're arguing. Here's the thing. When it made us cocky, it was worse. See, we're not cocky about this. Sure, we know a lot. You know what? Daryl and I know a lot about this program. I don't want to call other people out. So that's not why I'm saying that. All right. Angel has a different place in my heart. I'll just tell you, when I started doing this, there was a person who joined and they helped me get my ass out of PTSD. And she helped me become a recovery coach, which got me out of the house. And it worked. And I'll be forever grateful for it. So I like to give, is that where credit is due? That's God, man. And we'll always give it to God. Right? And that's why we don't argue. We bounce. Yeah. And it's fun. I find it enjoyable. Right? I love you, honey. Perhaps there is a better way. We think so, for we are now on a different basis. The basis of trusting and relying upon God. Oh, if this isn't standing on our own 2 feet, I don't know what is. Thank you, God. We trust infinite God rather than our finite selves. We are in the world to play the role he assigns us. Just to the extent that we do as we think he would have us and to humbly rely on him, does he enable us to match calamity with serenity. Okay, I'm gonna laugh at that. But if you put down my friend again, I'm gonna get upset. Let me say this. Don't let the actions of dumbasses determine what you think you did right. Okay? Because I'm going to tell you something. You didn't do anything wrong. You didn't. I know what you're talking about. And you didn't do anything wrong. You went and took care of yourself, God forbid, so that you could become a better person and help more people. You know what I am? Fucking proud. I know how fucking hard it is to overcome depression, anxiety, The fear that everybody's fucking talking about you. I know it. I know it. You overcame it. All right. Don't make me cry again. All right. Those are happy tears. Those are tears of relief because I know what it's like. Okay? See, we get to feel a different freedom. We get more because we do more. Believe. Believe. All right. So God led me to this right here. We never apologize to anyone for depending on our Creator. Nope. Ain't gonna do it. Ain't gonna happen. No way. Ain't gonna do it. Nope. I will never, ever, ever apologize, bow, kiss a ring, humbly put myself to another human being. No. And if that's an expectation, I got something for you in my pocket. Did you know this is a boundary? Dot, dot, dot is a boundary. This is a boundary. That's why these kids are getting all upset about it. They're figuring it out. We can laugh at those that think spirituality is the way of weakness. I'd like to laugh, but I don't. And I'll tell you why. Karma. No. Okay. Even the people I'm trying to put out there, I said this to Angel earlier. They have some good traits I wish they would just change. That's what I wish for everybody. That if you make the change, you'll see it. And then maybe this won't be as lonely. See, there's a bunch of us that are trying to do all this the right way, but we're kind of separated and it's being done on purpose. So I'm trying to bring us together because if we come together, I already know what will happen. And it doesn't mean coming together so we have to fight something. It just means come together and be a good example and show this world the way that we did it. Thank you for correcting me on that, Daryl, earlier. All right. Paradoxically is the way of strength. I'm a strong motherfucker. Yeah. I'm dangerous. I know exactly how dangerous I am. I am very dangerous. And you know what I do? I pull it back. And that part is not dead. It is sleeping. It is resting. So when we say things like, don't poke the bear, don't poke the bear, man. Okay? Don't you run around in traffic, flipping people off, starting fights. You never know what bear is going to get out of that car. Right? We trust infinite God. We are in the all men of faith have courage. They trust their God. We never apologize for God. Instead, we let him demonstrate through us what he can do. We ask him to remove our fear and direct our attention to what he would have us be. At once, we commence to outgrow fear. What does outgrow fear mean? It means we grow up. That means we emotionally grow up, right? Here's the other thing for me about fear is that my fears aren't really lessened. What I have is more courage. And that's what seems to happen for me. So, all right. Well, 40 minutes later, and gotta wrap it up. Yeah. And really that's what we're about. We're gonna ask you to do some things. Actually, we're not. We're not going to actually ask you to do anything. See, the first 3 steps require no action. And it should be that way. It's very good reasons. It's called delayed gratification. If we cannot learn the skill of delayed gratification, then you're going to have an obsession for shit all of your life. Yep. Kind of like I've been sick for 2 weeks. Delayed gratification. I'm so tired of being sick. Yeah. Progress. Even when we're sick, progress. All right. Thank you, everybody, for being here. I appreciate it. 2 good friends, too. You know, it's nice that, you know, I don't have this huge following, and I doubt I ever will. It's not a concern, but I do know this. God does something with it every day. Yeah. Oh, awesome, man. Awesome. All right. Thank you, everybody, for being here. I love you. I really do. Peace out. And